Hello, I'm Beth Reeder, Research and Instruction Specialist here in the Medical Center Library, and Graduate Assistant Annabelle Smith is joining me today to help out as we talk about the new Web of Science platform. Please feel free as we go along to drop questions in the chat, and Annabelle will share those with me at the end. So, what is the Web of Science? Web of Science is a citation index platform, which means it provides access to literature, to citing and cited research in a way that allows users to track research relationships, both forward and back in time. The core collection is Web of Science's database, shown here in this image, surrounded by some other databases that include various indexes. The core collection includes over 250 subject categories, 34,000 fully indexed journals, and all these other exciting statistics listed here in this list. 12 million peer-reviewed full-text open access versions, information funding data, inventions, publishing partners. And so, as I mentioned, this image here, the core collection is Web of Science's database. These show potential databases. They don't necessarily reflect UK's access, and I will show you what collections we have access to when we go through the live demo. This is an image that I pulled from the Web of Science website. So as we're talking about what's new in the Web of Science, we have a lot of stuff to look at. A lot is new, a lot is still in the process of being updated. Just a few things. Users can now export up to 1,000 records at a time. So that is a benefit of the new platform. Can easily share search query and article links, and there are some new visualization tools that we'll look at today, as well as personalized recommendations. The official statement from Web of Science is that they will never be done with their update because they plan to always be making improvements. They do welcome user feedback, and I'll show you how to submit that at the end of this session. So I think it's I'll show you how to do that too, so that you can submit improvements or such things that you would like to see. My understanding is that you'll no longer be able to access the old Web of Science platform after the end of this year, but for the time being, you still can get back to it under the products menu on the Web of Science home screen. So let's go ahead and jump into the live demo, and I will show you the new Web of Science platform. Let me switch over to my browser screen, and you should see the Medical Center Library page here. I'm starting out there because that's the link here. Down here under selected database is going to give us access to the UK version of Web of Science that has that full text linking for us. Okay, so as that loads, you will see up here at the top right, there's that the product menu where you can still get to Web of Science Classic if you want to look at that old platform. So as you can see here, things look a little bit different, significantly more purple than it used to be. I am signed in here. If you do not yet have an account for Web of Science, there's an option to register, and I highly recommend that you do that. This gives me access to my search history for up to a year. It allows me to set up alerts, and it makes it easy for me to connect quickly to my EndNote online account. So Web of Science has moved to this, starting you out on the single box search format. A basic search is now a document search. It's going to default to all fields, but you can change this. All times I'll switch to topic, and each one of these will show you exactly what it's searching. So if I were to switch to topic, I'd be searching title, abstract, and the author supplied keywords, as well as the keywords plus. You can also search by title, author. You have other options here. And this also defaults to searching the Web of Science core collection. You can also, if you wanted to search, say, CAP abstracts, zoological record, you have other options here. And each one of these outlines what's contained and when the data was last updated. You can select or deselect editions here. But what I'm going to do just to get us started out is just go with a simple all fields, single search. I want to just do a quick, I'm going to do a phrase search for black bear. And I'm just going to go ahead and search. And I see my results here. You see your search field is going to stay at the top of the screen, whereas in previous editions, you would have to click back to get back to your search to edit that. If I click in there, it pops out and it gives me options to edit it. I can track back. The history tracks up there at the top. And just to establish a little bit of a search history so I can show you some things, I'm going to go ahead and clear that search out and just put another, I'm going to use a truncation term here just to pull up some more results and show you. If I click up here into my search history, I can see I have previous days searches because I'm logged into my account, but these are the 2 searches that I've conducted today. All right, and I can copy a query link to that. I can edit this search. I can set an alert if I wanted to create an alert to run the search periodically and email me the results. And I can also delete these. I can clear out my entire history. So if I want to get a little fancier with my searches, and I can come up here to advanced search to combine these. So say I want to look at hibernation in the black bear population. I can come up here to advanced search. I have a lot of options here with my the explanation of the Boolean operators. I can get some examples, the different field tags. If you want to get specific with this, I want to cover a lot of information, so I'm not going to get too detailed in this, but you can, look through these and try these out. What I want to show you right here is just how, when you're doing this advanced search, you can come down here and from your search history, you can combine these terms by adding them. I just added my #1 search, black bear, and I'm going to add with an and my hibernation terminology, right? And I'm going to search that. And so now I'm searching my #1 and my #2 search, my black bear and my hibernation, and I have 121 results for us to play around with. So, and as I build up the search history, I can combine things in various ways. But just to keep it kind of simple, just to look at the tools here, I'm going to leave it at that right now. Again, I can click in here. I can edit my search. I can add a date range. This defaults to publication date, which is when, a particular item was published. You also have an indexing date option here. So if you want to see when something was actually indexed in Web of Science as opposed to when it was published, you can do that, right? I'm just going to leave things simple and leave that search there. Looking at my search results, I can see that my sort, it's small here, but my sort defaults to relevance. I believe in the past, it defaulted to newest research first. So that is something you can change. You have different options there, how you want to sort it. You can sort by highly cited. And then still the same over here in your left sidebar, you have your refinement tools. You can look at review articles. You can either exclude those or you can refine to only include those. One thing that is new on your left sidebar here is this publishers option. So you can say, I only want to look at Elsevier titles, or I want to exclude Elsevier titles. right? And so you can just look through your different options here. There are a number of ways to sort that if you want to sort by language, or I'm sorry, refine by language, etc. So not a lot has changed there, but that publisher's option is new. As we're looking at our search results here, we can hit this show more and pop out the abstract to see before we go into a record what that's about. This 3 dots menu provides us with some shortcuts to various ways of collecting our results here. We can add it to a mark list. We can copy the section number or the DOI, article link, various ways to track back to these items. Okay. So if we go into one of these articles, I'm going to find one that has both citations and references because some of these do not. So I'm going to click into this article here. And I can see this has not changed a lot. You still have your information about the article here, your abstract, your author supplied keywords, and your keywords plus are right here. One thing that is new is this big journal box down here. Your impact factor is readily available and the journal information right there. Let's see here. We have the Citation Network. Not a lot has changed in this particular one. We have the number of records that cited this current article, right? You can set a citation alert on that. You can see all the citations. And if you hover over these things, it tells you what they mean. Number of references that this record cites. You can click down into that and see that kind of like a clickable bibliography there, right? You scroll back up, we have this you may also like, which is a, these are suggestions based on keywords that you use in your search as well as other searchers browsing. So kind of like you see on some shopping sites, you know, if you like this, or on some video sites, you like this, you might also enjoy this based on what they've tracked you and people who do similar searching to you showing interest in. You can also see where this particular publication was most recently cited. So these are nice features here. If we want to see the view text, I've got a number of options here. Typically, we're going to tell you, you know, click on this full text at UK, and that's going to take you into the catalog to see if we have it in full text. And if we don't, you can click through to interlibrary loan, and it'll populate, once you log into that, it'll populate a request form. You'll notice here on mine, I have the option to download the PDF here, as well as an option down here. And that's because I have LibKey Nomad and EndNote Click. I'm not seeing the EndNote Click, but in some of these articles, I'll also see an EndNote Click option down here. So I highly recommend downloading these plugins to more quickly, easily speed up that process of getting to this, the full text of these articles. I want to jump back just to my search results here real quick, just to show you a couple things from the search results area. Right here, I can copy my query link. So if you want to send this to somebody else, you could just copy this link. So it copies it down here, and somebody pastes that in their browser, and it's going to take them right to those same results, those same 121 results that you just discovered, right? Also, you can analyze your results, and this is a nice visualization. This tree map chart, it defaults, this one is defaulting to the top 10 Web of Science categories covered in my results, but you can change this to look at, for example, the author affiliations, right? So you can see which organizations are publishing information in this field. You can also look at what authors are doing this work, right? So you have some options there. You can download this if you like the visualization. You can also look at a bar chart version of it. You can hide the visualizations and just see the listing. So a few options there for how you look at those things. Also, if we go back to our search results, we can select a number of articles and we have an option. We can either add them to a marked list, and I have a previously saved one here that we're just, as I'm doing here, the first three results that I clicked on. But if you want to collect a number of results and save them to a marked list, you can do that. You can also just export directly to one of these options. You can export to an RIS file. You can export, for example, directly to EndNote Desktop. And as I mentioned earlier, you can now do that for up to 1,000 records at a time. You just select the amount of information you want to export and click that export. And I tried to cancel that, but it went ahead and went through. So I did not intend to actually send that to my EndNote, but let's see here. If I wanted to create a search alert for this particular search, I can do that here, and I can say, okay, I want to call this one bear hibernation, for example. I can tell it to send me email alerts, and I can create that list or that alert. And I can just click OK, or I can go in here to manage my alerts. And well, not sure why I didn't open that, but I'll just go in here to manage my alerts. And I can see here, I've done this a couple times, but my bear hibernation, my most recently created bear hibernation one is right here. And I can rerun the search. I can activate it or inactivate it. And if I click in here to more options, I can give it a description. I can say how often I'd like to receive an email about it. I want to change that to monthly or daily. And just to make sure that I don't lose track of it, I can say, even if there are no results, I want you to send me an email, right? I don't really want an update on this. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, right? And this other one that I created earlier, I'll go ahead and deactivate that one. You know, you can do this for searches. You can do this for journal alerts. You can get the latest table of contents for journals that you've selected. And then you can also do this. You can set up citation alerts and there are instructions on how to do that there. So that is basically what I wanted to cover for document searching. So in absence of questions, what I want to do is I'm going to jump back over to my landing page here in Web of Science. I'm going to clear this out, and I want to just do a quick cited references search. So I'm going to come in here. And so your cited reference searching, this allows you to find any Web of Science indexed record that have cited a publication and whether that publication is in Web of Science. So you can take a known item and move forward in time research-wise from that item to see what works have cited it. So I'm going to search for a particular publication that I know has a new feature that I want to show you, but you can use this to track down any article. You can use a date range if you're not sure exactly when it was published. And sometimes if there are discrepancies in how an author has cited a work, you can use this tool to pull those, you know, sometimes just slightly differently cited works and look at it all together as one record as it should be if it had been, you know, correctly cited. So the author that I'm looking for, this can be an individual or an organization, and I am looking for Morris R.L. and cited work here. You have a few options. You can work from a DOI, you can work from a volume, particular volume or issue, pages. I'm going to go with cited work. this is going to be the either book or journal that the work I'm looking for was published in. So health expectations, if I can spell that correctly, Morris RL, I'm going to search. And I have 3 results here. And so sometimes you might see here like a very similar title with a slightly different year. You know, you might see some discrepancies. You can expand these out and look and see exactly what you're dealing with. But what you see here is all these articles that have cited this particular known work that you want to track from. Now, I'm pulling this article up because I want to show you one of the new features, Web of Science. This is still in beta, so bear with me. I'm hoping that it's going to not be terribly slow, but this enriched cited references option here gives you this nice visualization of where citation occurs. So in what section of the work it occurs. Each one of these dots represents a mention of an article. So if we just click on one of these, right, let's say, and we want to view the in-text mention. You can see these are in the discussion, right? So let's view the in-text mention. And we'll be patient. Hopefully this will not take too terribly long. Let's see, here's my EndNote click. So I could view the PDF of this quickly without having to go through the catalog. So as I mentioned, this is still in beta and it has been a little slow for me these past few days, but I'm going to wait because when I have been patient, I have actually made it through to it. And you can also, the page is working here, but if you scroll down, you can see this as a list. Okay. All right, so see, this pops up. You get this little pop-up box that shows you where, and there it is, how it's done. You can click to the full text at the publisher. So that is just, it's a neat little visualization tool, as well as, you know, linking out to where those citations are happening. All right, and so I would like to do, if we have time, one last type of search. If I can bounce back up here to our landing page again, I just keep clicking back on this Web of Science logo, right? And I just want to do a quick author search. And now just to show you how this works, I am going to do a search for a researcher that I work with occasionally. And you can pick, you know, if you know the specific variation of the name, you can do just a first initial, but this will show you like some options here. You can add name variants. I'm just going to go for a quick Thomas Tobin and pull up a list of options. All right, and so Web of Science has these authors indexed. I know that this is the Dr. Tobin I'm looking for because he works at the Cluck Equine Research Center. So I can see his most recent publications. Here, I can see the names that he publishes under, right? I can see he has 68 documents here and that his publications span 1975 to 2021, right? So now I am going to click in to see his page. And now you can, if this is your record, you can claim this, and that allows you to control how your profile appears to users. And so right here, there would be a link to the public profile page of your record. So if I scroll down, I can see Dr. Tobin's publications, how many times they've been cited. I can click out to those. What is new here is this author impact beam plot. And so I've got the little summary here right over my citation network. I can click here or click here to see that full beam plot, right? And so my purple dots are my citation percentiles, and then the green circles are the annual. This is maybe a little complicated if you haven't haven't looked at one of these before, there is a legend down here and this how to read this beam plot explanation down here at the bottom. So you can see this, this nice visualization of an author's performance, right? Over here in the Citation Network, if I click through and look at that full report, I have the option to analyze these results, right? And here I have the stream map chart I can do again, mostly veterinary sciences, according to these publications, also pharmacology, pharmacy. I can see, you know, what all affiliations the authorship of these articles are associated with, publication years in a bar chart form, various options there. Another thing I can do with this, let's go back. I can create an alert for Dr. Tobin. And I can just call this Tobin. You can go in and look at that and see, I can make that active, inactive, you know, all the same options that you have with the other alerts. And so the last thing I want to do, and you can access this from any Web of Science page, is show you this resource center link down here, this little purple question mark, where you can find product updates, training, news articles, online help, and also this is where you're going to find that suggestive feature option. Now you do need to be logged in to open up the feedback portal and communicate something there, but if there's something that you would like to see in the consistently evolving Web of Science, this is where you can submit those suggestions. So I am going to hop back over to my slides, and Annabelle is going to toss a link to a feedback survey for us in the chat, and also we can look at some questions if there are any questions waiting for us in the chat. So thank you for your time.